At the risk of losing your attention before we get into the yoga sequence, I wanted to take an opportunity today to share with you what exactly we're doing around here at Home and Yoga or Home Yoga Therapy. I'm Mandy, I'm a yoga therapist, and I found healing from chronic pain and anxiety with yoga. That sparked a curiosity in me, and I had to follow how yoga works for healing. I'm showing up on YouTube to share my personal practice with you. Each week, I come to my mat with a student who is live typically. This week, they're not, so I'm having a little more opportunity to talk to you directly. Each week, I come and I don't necessarily have a sequence planned. I may have some ideas or a message that I would like to share or incorporate, a key insight or a key pose. But for the most part, I'm sharing what I would do in my own body for seasonal changes, for month to month, day to day self regulation. Regulating my nervous system with yoga, showing up to my practice helps me show up for others throughout the week. And that's what I want to share with you. So it's not overly planned around here. It's pretty genuine and authentic, and I don't do a lot of editing. I pretty much share the practice and then upload it here with you. My hope is that you will find this as your own weekly ritual, something to tap into, whether you do the practice on Sunday or any other day of the week that works for you. But you're showing up for your ritual to nourish your own nervous system, to help heal your emotions and anything that just feels out of balance and needs grounding. Today's yoga practice will do just that. We are in the changing seasons. We are moving from the summer months to the autumn months. And that can cause a bit of a stir in some of us or can affect our nervous systems differently. So I want to offer today something that really helped me, which is finding peace in transitions. So I'll offer some yoga poses and we will key into the moments we transition into a new pose and see if we can be steady, slow, and patient with ourselves. When we train our body, we can also train our mind. So when we move slow, our mind is able to slow down and we start to create a mind habit or a pattern for the mind to slow down. In our chaotic, overstimulated world, this is so important. Thanks for being here with me. I hope you join each week. I also offer a chair yoga practice on Wednesdays. Chair yoga is not just for seniors. If you're a senior practicing chair yoga with me, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Chair yoga is also a great way to drop into your practice for a 10 to 20 minute session to recalibrate throughout the week. So I definitely encourage you to check out the chair yoga midweek and show up for your weekly practice. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's get into our practice. We're going to start in Savasana. So as I mentioned, we are moving through the seasons. And sometimes before we can really make a transition, we need to find rest or deep rest. So we'll start in Shavasana. Find yourself on your back, on your mat. You could take up as much space on your mat here as feels good. Let your shoulders get heavy. Roll them back and down into the earth. Sense your heels making contact with the ground. You could let your ankles splay open if that feels good. And choose what you want to do with your hands. Take one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Or possibly both hands, palms face down on the ground. Your choice. I'll invite you to close your eyes and tune into your own breath. Setting aside anything that came before this practice, anything that's coming after this practice. You could ask your mind to do this so you can be more fully present with your practice. Maybe your mind is busy and you want to set an intention today to just finish the practice, no matter how you do it, but to be present and stay for this time that you've set aside for yourself. Begin to deepen your breath for a couple cycles. Allow your ribs to expand out laterally. When our ribs expand laterally, the exhale is like a massage for our internal organs. Now we're going to begin to flex our ankles, flex our toes, and draw them towards our nose. So we're extending toes away from our face and then pointing toes towards our nose. And begin just to get the sense of the extension and flexion. And then begin to pump your toes. So your heels can rest in one spot. And you can pump your toes. This is going to create a whole body movement, a way of waking up our nervous system. I like to think of this as shaking up a snow globe. Let's begin to slow the pumping all the way to a stop. And now sense that snow globe that we just shook up. Sense the energy recalibrating. If noticing sensations feels difficult, your mind gets distracted, that's okay. Just notice. Notice it's hard to be with what's present in your own body without judgment. Draw in both knees towards your chest. You could place your hands on your knees or wrap around your shins or your hamstrings. Whatever feels good for you. We'll be here for several breaths in Apanasana. A very grounding pose. In fact, you could take just this one pose out of the sequence into your week. This helps aid digestion. And we don't just digest our food, we digest our emotions and our experiences. Notice your breathing in your lower belly. Place your hands over your knees, and as you inhale, extend your elbows so that your knees draw away from your chest. And as you exhale, draw your knees in towards your chest, squeezing all of your exhale out. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. 3 or 4 more times on your own pace. See if you can allow your belly button to draw towards your spine with the exhale. Helping to squeeze the last bit of air out, similar to squeezing toothpaste out of a tube. Inhale. Rock side to side. Maybe do some circle motions with your knees. You could go in the opposite direction. And then if it feels okay for you, begin to rock up to a seat. Or slowly come up to a seat that works for you. Spread your feet as wide or wider than your mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. With the soles of your feet on the ground, walk your fingertips forward while trying to keep your chest drawing forward and up. So we're not collapsing down into this posture, but allowing it to be strong and sturdy. Let your shoulders relax down your back. Breathe here. If you'd like, you could wrap your elbows around your knees and release your neck. One more breath here. Full inhale. Slow exhale. Place your hands on your knees and we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. If you prefer, you could come into Sukhasana, cross-legged seat, and place your hands on your knees. We'll inhale, draw chest and chin forward and up. And exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, arch your back. Move through these spinal undulations with your breath at your own pace. Peacefully moving through these transitions. We're not hurrying or rushing. We need not get cat-cow done faster to move to the next thing. Let's come to a neutral spine and bring the sole of your feet together for Baddha Konasana, butterfly. You could take your peace fingers around your big toes if you'd like, or cup your toes with your palms. This is going to help as you inhale, you can draw your chest up and forward again. Allow your hips to release any tension. As you inhale, let your spine get longer. And as you exhale, a little heavier into the earth, a little heavy in your hips. One or two more breath cycles here in butterfly. Keeping your left knee bent, extend your right leg. The left sole of your foot comes to your inner right thigh. Bend your right knee generously here. In fact, you could bring the sole of your foot all the way to your mat. Align your body, your hips, so that you're faced forward. And as you exhale, begin to bring your forehead or your nose towards your knee. Breathe here. If you'd like a little bit more, you could begin to straighten your right leg. Let's make sure the lower back is as straight as possible so that we're not trying to make this shape happen, but we're supporting ourselves in the shape. So if you're straightening your knee, only come as far as you can keep that low back as straight as possible for you. That's why I like the knee bend. It kind of helps us with that automatically. Let's take one more breath here. Breathe into your backside body. As you inhale, you can walk yourself up. Extend your left leg and bend the right knee so that your right foot comes into your left inner thigh. Align your torso over your extended leg. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale to walk yourself forward. So here we'll bend our knee again as much as feels good for you. And you could rest your third eye, the spot between your brow, on your knee. Breathe into your backside body, expanding your ribs wide. Relax into your exhale. Let's take one more full breath here. And inhale to come all the way up. Extend your left leg long and draw your right knee up towards the ceiling. Reach out with your left arm and reach around to hug your right knee, bringing your right hand behind you as a kickstand. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale to twist from your lower belly. In this transition, pause to notice your breathing in your lower abdomen. Use your exhale to come back around. Extend your right leg long. And this time, slowly in our transition, peacefully, draw your left knee in towards your chest. Reach your right arm out and around to hug your left knee, using your left hand as a kickstand behind you. I invite you to turn your gaze towards the ground or even close your eyes here. Become the witnesser to your belly, expanding with the inhale and hugging your body with the exhale. Transitions give us the opportunity to notice our own expansion and contraction. We need both. One more breath here. And come back around. Keeping your knees bent, lower yourself back onto the ground. You could take your feet as wide as your mat and allow your knees to fall in towards each other. You might notice with your knees touching, your lower back is able to rest more on the earth. You could pull your knees apart to notice the natural curve in your lower back when they're apart. These subtle differences we sometimes miss when we rush through the transition. Let's bring knees apart. We'll take windshield wipers. Inhale at center. And exhale, lower both knees to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop knees to the opposite side. Move through this 3 or 4 times to each side at your own pace. See if you can avoid rushing through this, but noticing something subtle in your movements. The next time you come to center, let that be where you stop. Once more, draw your knees in towards your chest. I'll take 5 long, gentle breaths here. Just observe your body breathing you here. You're creating the shapes. Your body knows what to do from here. Maybe in this moment you can offer yourself some gratitude for showing up for your practice and moving through these shapes. Draw your forehead up to your knees and give yourself a squeeze for appreciation. And exhale to pour out into your Savasana. Pull the flesh of your buttocks to the side, allowing your root or your base to be more centered, more grounded. You can let your ankles splay open. And again, choose what you want to do with your hands. Today, as we move from summer to autumn, I'm one hand on my heart, the air element, and one hand on my belly at my solar plexus, the fire element. Release any control of your breathing to let your body breathe you. Soften the corners of your eyes. Imagine softening the muscles behind your eyes. And relax all the muscles of your face, jaw, and throat. Allow your tongue to lay flat at the bottom of your mouth. Shavasana is not a time of doing nothing, but a time of integration. Not a time of evaluation or judgment of yourself or the practice, and a time of witnessing. The less we do in our Shavasana, the more our bodies and heart minds know exactly what to do. See if you can just create a little more stillness by softening your body, not by trying to make something happen, but subtracting something. Release any holding in your pelvis or your hips, letting them get heavy into your mat. I invite you to soften your belly, imagining your torso as a clear lake, not a ripple from the rain or from the wind. Begin to deepen your breath, taking self-leadership. The breath is kind of cool like that. It will breathe you, or you can self-lead the breath. Begin to make micro movements, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. And allow your movements to get a little bigger, rolling wrists and ankles in opposite direction. I always like a full body stretch, reach overhead and stretching my toes down, Bend one knee, then the other. And you're doing this at your own time, not at my pace. Linger where you want to linger. And roll to one side and linger here. Rest yourself up to a seat. And we'll sit in meditation for a few moments together. You might like to close your eyes or rest your gaze on one focal point, maybe 18 or 24 inches in front of you. Tune into your breathing. How is your body breathing you right now? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? In yoga, we have 5 qualities of mind. We have disturbed, dull, distracted, one-pointed, and lucid. If you were to name this quality of your mind right now, what would it be? Would it be disturbed or dull? Maybe still a little distracted. Most of us live our lives here. Or do you feel a little more one-pointed, a little more centered? Maybe a little lucid after Savasana, a little bit in the dream state. Thank you for sharing your practice with me and letting me share my practice with you. If this has been helpful, I hope you'll subscribe and join us in our weekly ritual, helping to regulate nervous system and heal emotions with yoga from home. Thanks for being here. It means everything to me.